Well, thank you very much. And Roger, you are a very hard act to follow wherever you are. So I promise you, I don't have any slides. I don't have anything that I can touch screen with. But I have a lot of passion to be here representing Iron Mountain. And while my colleague has been here 21 years, I've been here 60 days as the Senior Vice President of our data management organization. So nothing like getting thrown into the spotlight to really learn about the company culture and put that out there for you guys today. Before I get started, I really want to thank Barbara and Ben Casera for your vision and your commitment of preserving the past for the future generations. I had the opportunity to meet them both this morning, and Barbara was telling me about their grandson who's complaining about the weight of the history book, and I have a daughter who's in high school too, and we're talking ancient Greek right now, and she's actually on an iPad for her history book. But having the images come to life like this is really about how the next generation learns and how we can really experience all of that. So Barbara and Ben, fantastic vision and commitment, and I thank you very much for that. So then, why is Iron Mountain a natural partner for what we do? And really, our goal or our mission, quite simply, is to be the world's trusted partner for information protection and storage. And we work to preserve your assets. Let me just talk about that, right? So, I mean, our company was started 60 years ago. Digital wasn't even in the mix, so to speak, as the advents of computers weren't really there. We are founded by a mushroom farmer, okay? And in 1936, he bought a plot of land, 100 acres, and he had a depleted iron mine in it to grow his mushrooms. And if you think about the world history at that time, you know, we've come out of World War I, we're about to go into World War II, his business flourished, but throughout the 40s, being a philanthropist and an entrepreneur, he also wanted to give back to the community. So Herman actually was a sponsor for many Jewish immigrants to come to the United States to start their life over as they escaped Nazi Germany. And what pressed upon about that story is that he realized they had no documentation. They had lost their identity because they fled so quickly or everything was just destroyed in the war. So fast forward, Herman's mushroom business in the 50s starts to die down a little bit, and he does what every good businessman does. He figures out, I have some assets, and now how do I use them to meet an unmet business need? And voila, he started Iron Mountain Atomic Storage, and he put secure vaults in that iron ore mine underground so people could start storing vital records and information. Our first customer was a savings bank, East Riverside Savings Bank, and in their armored vehicles, they would bring to us their microfiche storage of deposit records and signature cards, right? Because if anything happened to the bank, it was off-site, underground, safe, and secure. And that is really kind of the brand reputation that we have from Iron Mountain today. Now, our business has changed because not everybody is just storing stuff on paper, and we can talk about that from an electronic media perspective, because as technology has evolved, if you think about Roger's website, this is the life cycle of the website here, right? You've got Barbara and Ben and CyArk who go out and create all of this data and this models and this images, petabytes and petabytes of this data. And you've got the Microsoft guys like Roger who help bring it to life and put it on a website and stuff. And we're the actual guys who actually store it. So if the systems go down, you can actually recover it. And we do that in two ways. We have tape storage, which has been around for many, many years. It's a very cost-effective mechanism to store petabytes and tons of data on it, so to speak. And we do it in cloud storage with our data centers. So you can see as our business has changed, as technology has changed, so does our storage mechanism too. But again, we're there to preserve the assets in whatever shape or form that it can take. Our company has grown significantly in 60 years, and this was interesting for me to learn this very quickly. We have 156,000 customers today. We're in 33 countries around the world on all 5 continents. You saw I mentioned the mushroom farm and the underground. We have 6 underground facilities that are records, information. The paper business gets stored there and some of it, but we also have data center storage in those around the world. Some of the things that we are storing, which will be just mind-blowing to you, it's everything from financial transactions. I probably have everybody's credit card history someplace on a tape in one of my vaults. I have medical records. But what's interesting in our media and entertainment business, we probably have original copies of most of the major motion picture films that have ever been made. If you are a movie buff, a music buff, you'll love that we have original recordings of Elvis's classic music, like Hound Dog. We have a copy of the original mastered tape of the Beatles' Abbey Road album. Okay, so we really do store lots of different stuff, from wills that World War I soldiers wrote, through heirlooms, family heirlooms, to going back to the motion picture film industry, E.T.'s bicycle with E.T. still on the bike that was used in the movie. So you can see what all this means for us, as well as cloud data. Some of our fastest growing customers are high-tech companies who are using cloud as cloud storage, but at the end of the day, we're still archiving to tape or cloud media, different cloud media. And I can tell you with one customer, they very, very big public issue a couple of years ago, and they lost several millions of email accounts. They were able to retrieve them in those email accounts because some of them had been stored in Iron Mountain facilities on tape, and we were able to retrieve them and put them back. What they couldn't restore and retrieve is because they didn't have necessarily a policy that said that that was mandatory. So they now have that policy, and they're a great customer of ours. But anyway, so how does this tie in with CyArk, right? Our CyArk relationship started 2 years ago. When Barbara and Ben and the CyArk Foundation, they were really looking for a different storage solution. So what we've been able to do is we've been able to architect that. And you have to understand, Iron Mountain, we have physical assets, right? We have mines and we have vaults, all right? We aren't necessarily a technology company, but we know how the technology can come together as the architecture and how to integrate a solution that allowed them to store all of the digital images that they have, which allows the Microsoft and the CyArk team to actually use that data to present out to them. They're able to actually with the metadata, go in and search for the content of their data, and it's stored and preserved forever in one of our underground facilities. That's how that first part of our relationship with CyArk got started. To talk about the bigger philanthropic piece of our relationship with CyArk, I'd like to bring up Ty and Ondatje for corporate social responsibility.
Well, it looks like I drew the short straw, all right? So I get the dreaded post-lunch time slot, but it's a time when that lunch and particularly those cookie bars are starting to settle in, right? So bear with me. I'll try to move quickly through reinforcing our partnership and relationship that we have ongoing with CyArk. We were fortunate to cross paths with Ben and the CyArk family a couple of years ago. And, for those of you who have the opportunity to spend time with Ben and or Barbara or the CyArk family for that matter, it's easy to be drawn in to the broader cause and passion around preservation, right? We certainly have had that level of interest for some time now. But as you may have heard earlier throughout presentations, we have doubled down on that interest level to the tune of a long-term, for us anyway, a long-term 5-year working agreement with CyArk. And part and parcel to that agreement is funding to continue the mission and the vision, as well as services in kind. So it's a long-term relationship for Iron Mountain. It's unusual for us, but it's also very special, right? And it's special on several fronts. First and foremost, as Eileen alluded to, the output of the work being done at CyArk aligns very well with our core competencies at Iron Mountain to safeguard the world's information. Second is the 500 Challenge. We're really excited about the 500 Challenge and absolutely want to be a part of it. We find it to be aggressive and ambitious, but you cannot deny the passion for the pursuit, and we absolutely want to be in a position to support that effort. And then thirdly, what CyArk is doing in the form of preservation fits very nicely into our living legacy portfolio under our corporate responsibility platform at Iron Mountain. Iron Mountain has CyArk as probably its most significant relationship to date under our living legacy portfolio, but we're looking to grow our portfolio. And we do have some additional partners that we're proud to support: the New England Museum Association, the JFK Library. And we've also demonstrated as an organization that when our communities need us during a crisis, a time of need and reflection, we've been there for the unfortunate events such as Sandy Hook, as well as the Boston Marathon bombing. So we will provide support wherever we can. Our hope as we grow out the portfolio is that it will be dominated by a lot of the positive good works of mankind, and some of the ugliness will cease to exist. But we'll be prepared nonetheless as an organization. So I don't want to dwell on the negative aspects of some of our partnerships. I want to celebrate and applaud Ben and Barbara and the CyArk family for continuing the mission around protecting our heritage, preserving our history, but along the way, also stimulating us to imagine, right? I experienced this recently while being part of a select group to tour the Washington Monument through Bob Vogel and the Parks Administration. And I remember standing at the base of the monument, and in front of one of these huge marble blocks, right? And I couldn't help but wonder how that block was maneuvered into place, right? Without the advent of modern day engineering and heavy equipment, I concluded that there must have been an awful lot of brute force somewhere along the way. And then I started to wonder, well, what if I was on that initial detail to put those foundation blocks into place, right? So after I moved that first one into place and I sweep my brow of the sweat, and I asked some of my colleagues that are helping me, wow, that was tough. How many more do we have? About 36,000. So, it's just, when you look at some of these works and realize the effort that has gone into it, it's an absolute necessity that we preserve these treasures, right? So I'm sharing this imagination story with my wonderful wife of 30 years that I got to, touch and feel the marble and the granite at the Washington Monument, and as only she can, put things in perspective for me. So she acknowledges the fact that, we need to salute those that have gone before us to go through this painstaking work and effort to allow us to enjoy these treasures. And she says, you remember that the next time you whine about taking groceries out of the back of the car and making multiple trips, right? So as only she can, put things in perspective for me. But all kidding and perspective aside, the other part of the equation that we are really drawn to at Iron Mountain is the accessibility piece. And not just from a reconstruction or recovery effort, the proactive learning, that Roger is sharing with us, raising the awareness for adults and children alike, without the challenges of economic or geographic boundaries. That's pretty amazing, and that's pretty special. So we are absolutely drawn to that accessibility. But what's also interesting for Iron Mountain, it's sort of counterintuitive to what we do. As Eileen suggested, we are known for protecting the privacy and confidentiality of our customers' records, right? So for us to be part of something where we intentionally invite people to have access into that information really goes against the grain for us. So it takes a little conditioning, feels a little bit strange, I got to tell you. But we're absolutely happy to be a part of it. So those are a number of business reasons why we value the relationship and the continued partnership. But there are a couple of intangible values for us as well. Starting with the team at CyArk. So as I suggested, and many of you have found for yourselves, if you spend any time with Ben and Barbara, they will absolutely be a joy to be around and draw you in. But if you are so fortunate to work with the extended family and team at CyArk, folks like Jamie Pursuit and Liz and Scott and Katya, I have found them to be genuinely warm people to work with, and I absolutely dare you not to like them, right? So I hope you get the opportunity to interact with them. They're wonderful folks. And Ben and Barbara, they truly are the unsung heroes in your vision and mission. And speaking of unsung heroes, if I can ask for your indulgence for a few seconds, I want to cite one of my own, right? Alicia Purdue, where are you? Please stand up for a second so people can see who you are. So Alicia is our community engagement manager at Iron Mountain, working on the corporate responsibility team. And I've got to tell you, she has absolutely owned this event from our perspective. She has worked tirelessly with the folks at CyArk, with our production or video production crew out of Austin, Texas. She's worked with our marketing team, with our corporate communications team, and probably her biggest task to date has been to manage me along the way. Alicia is still a relatively new mom, so I know that she's made some concessions on the work-life balance front, and I really appreciate all your efforts, Alicia. Thank you. And let me just close in citing the other intangible value for us, and it is the courage that Ben in particular has shown, the courage to be innovative, right? And we are absolutely signed up for that at Iron Mountain. We understand that innovation doesn't come without risk, it doesn't come without failure, but to have the courage to take all of that into account and pursue a greater cause, it's something that all of us should be able to get behind. So Ben and Barbara and the CyArk family, congratulations. Thank you for having me. Cue the video.
Iron Mountain is a great fit to organizations that are trying to preserve their heritage, because we're all about safety and security, and it comes natural to our people.
If we continue doing the same thing we did yesterday, we're going to get the same old results. But we do things different, and that's what's critical about Iron Mountain. We tailor our solutions to our customers because our customers are very diverse and different.
They understand that we invest quite a bit in our technology, in our security, in our protection, and quite honestly, in our people.
We've evolved as an organization where these things that align with our Taking Care platform, the pillars of people, planet, promise, and community, it helps to define what we do and who we are. Our stakeholders are very much interested in what we're doing relative to those pillars. They want to know how committed we are because a lot of these things are important to them. They're materially important to the organizations that want to align with us and partner with us.
We're also preserving and protecting those things that are important to us from a cultural or historical perspective.
The fact that Iron Mountain has a Living Legacy program and a philanthropic investment in our communities is important.
The Living Legacy Initiative is an opportunity for us to partner with nonprofit organizations and museums around the world who need unique service opportunities, financial grants, and in-kind services that only Iron Mountain can provide.
There are so many benefits to Iron Mountain making these investments. Clearly, museums and libraries and other institutions and organizations that we're working with that might not otherwise have access to the kind of service that we provide get a huge benefit.
The John F. Kennedy Presidential Library is home to one-of-a-kind papers, photos, films, and other records of his time in office. Iron Mountain created a digital archive of these records and keeps the data in our secure underground facility. The digital archive is available on the library website so people from all over the world can enjoy and learn from it. In 2012, Sandy Hook, Connecticut experienced a tragic shooting at their elementary school. In the aftermath, the community received an outpouring of love and support from all over the world. It became a priority for the C.H. Booth Library in Newtown, Connecticut to preserve these items and make them accessible in an online archive for the whole world to see.
There was this feeling that we needed to preserve somehow this monumental outpouring of condolences.
The question of where it would be stored was a big one.
It needs to be preserved, it needs to be honored, it needs to be protected.
Many of our board members who are working in the business world use Iron Mountain and recommended that Iron Mountain would be a great resource.
One of the things I'm also most proud of is how Iron Mountain is helping Sandy Hook with their preserving the outreach that's happened after that terrible tragedy in terms of the letters, teddy bears, and other artifacts that they've received, and they don't want to lose touch with that.
CyArk uses 3D laser scanners to digitally preserve important cultural and heritage sites around the world.
CyArk is a nonprofit organization that's preserving 500 sites throughout the globe over the next 5 years. CyArk is phenomenal at using the technology that they invented to go in and digitize and laser scan these historic monuments and sites.
The data that we collect right now, we keep what we call working copies at our office, but we also keep a gold standard copy that goes physically to Iron Mountain and is held in a vault there, well underground and well safe. Iron Mountain has graciously agreed to help us with that.
And when Iron Mountain came, I think the fit was just incredible.
CyArk is digitally preserving the Washington Monument for future generations to be able to see.
The Iron Mountain partnership with CyArk is critical to achieving our mission. The Iron Mountain brand enables us to not only ensure that there's a safe record of our data, but also in creating new partnerships with sites and governments around documenting their site.
Following the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing, a makeshift memorial was founded. Iron Mountain partnered with the City of Boston Archives to protect items from the memorial, digitize hundreds of letters of condolence, and support the creation of an exhibition and online digital archive featuring the memorial items with the New England Museum Association, the Boston Art Commission, and Northeastern University.
This project is something that really took us by surprise, of course. And it's been wonderful to see different groups come forward to offer to help us with this. We had this huge outpouring of love from people in our city and from people around the world.
We were just delighted to learn that Iron Mountain could offer us exactly the kind of services that we were looking for.
We know that these items are in really good hands.
Our customers trust us to handle the material, and that's why we are who we are today.
We can be there in a time of need.
But I think what's even more important are the thousands, the millions of people who will have access to this information in many, many different ways because of the services that we're able to provide.